I clearly told people how their conduct would end up them being charged and even convicted with peripheral matters that had nothing to do with their perceived cause. I even told people how, for example, them trying to sue businesses and the government would end up. My mission has never been to wanting to be right, because my being right means that things are very bad for everyone, including myself. This is not an ego thing for me. It'd be nice if I was wrong about anything that I predicted. It's June 2025. Now this video is inspired by a question someone had messaged me, and it had to do with some guy by the name of James Bauder or something, doesn't really matter, and his seeking asylum in the United States. And I took the bait and I went in and checked out this guy's posts on his page and started asking questions. Once again, questions are bad. And I made some statements. I even posted a comment to that post and trying to see where people are coming from, why are they supporting him, and get the same usual regurgitation of nonsense, how the so-called convoy of freedom had woke up the world, which is ridiculous because the whole world was experiencing the same thing at the same time. So that's a fail. And people were saying, oh, it stopped everything that was being imposed, and it didn't, because as I've said repeatedly, I clearly stated in 2020, 2021, and 2022 when it would all end, and it did long before this so-called convoy of freedom nonsense. And there was other things where people were saying whatever. It's just the same thing that I've been addressing in videos when I've been addressing this topic. And this James guy, he did reply to me, but either he's really lacking any reading comprehension skills, or he's a complete idiot, or he is part of the bigger plan that's being imposed. And just, at best, logical fallacies in the replies, never addressed any of my questions, never addressed any points that I made, just kind of try to skip around it all. That's very telling. That is very telling on who this individual is. And people are sending money once again to this individual for some reason, because people have been duped. Now, the question that was asked of me, this guy is seeking asylum in the United States. If he does get asylum in the United States, it's going to be for the wrong reasons. And there's going to have many different side effects from that. But primarily, if he does get accepted, it's because it's going to further fuel this PSYOP division in Canada, where the Western provinces want to either become independent or more likely want to join the United States. And that's going to be why it happens, if it does. Now, this James guy is facing 15 years in prison, and he fled. Now, you have to think, if this person is really a true hero, and he really thinks that he did some good, then this would be something that he should embrace, to say, you know, this is my sacrifice, but like a coward runs with his family. And I've mentioned to one person in this post of his that, and I've mentioned this in videos too, the rub for me is people are supporting people like him, these fake heroes. These fake heroes are taking away attention, resources, and there's another point that just popped out of my head, from people who are actually trying to fight for truth, justice, and freedom. These people are distraction, these fake heroes. And this is my rub with all this. And it's amazing how people who support these fake heroes and the so-called convoy can't see it. But we live in a world, in a time where most people can't see anything. Like, for example, those who supported everything that was being opposed and accepted it couldn't see, how should I say, the opposite, and kind of, as a descriptive commonly used, which I hate using, wake up to what was really going on. But you have people drinking another flavor of Kool-Aid on the other side, basically doing the same thing from a different perspective. So I just really want to answer that question in a video. Do I think that this person, James, is going to get asylum in the United States? And my answer, once again, is if he does, it's going to be for the wrong reasons. And some other peripheral issues that are going to come from that as well, aside from it causing more harm to Canada as a nation, is it's going to be the, what do they call President Trump, orange man bad nonsense and all this other stuff. So it's going to have a big ripple effect. Now, if this guy doesn't realize it, or whether he realizes it or not, he's just being used as a pawn. He hasn't done anything with his life. He's delusional, thinking that he's a political prisoner and he had to escape Canada. But it is what it is. So hopefully I've addressed this question. And just before I finish up here, I was replying to one lady, and that reply went through, and then I seen that he replied to my question to her, and before, like, I had typed out my reply to him, and the post failed, and before I had a chance to take any screenshots, I was blocked because everything just disappeared and I couldn't get back in. And I did have a screenshot of him making a comment in his post that he has been blocking people for not going along with the crowd. And once again, that's very telling. Anyway, just wanted to share that for what it's worth. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Everything has to be scripted, fake. That way the narratives and the outcomes are controlled.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people saying to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.